that wonderful introduction. And I just want to say, Jonathan, you really cut to the heart of what it's all about here today. And I really, really appreciated those remarks. Amen. Super job. Supervisors Pat Harity, Sharon Bulova, Michael Fry. Park Authority Board Chairman Hal Strickland, Director John Dargle, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't this a beautiful place? What a change! The Fairfax County Park Authority has actually brought this little piece of the old Ox Hill battlefield back from the 19th century. And it's been right here all along, right in the middle of modern urban Fairfax. This is a Civil War buff's dream. I had prepared some lengthy remarks about this battlefield. I was going to talk about the post-war battlefield in John Ballard, about the Civil War centennial in the 1960s, and the efforts of Lieutenant Colonel Robert Ross Smith, who worked so hard 40 to 50 years ago trying to save something here. I was going to talk about relics and artifacts found on this battlefield, and the grave of a Confederate soldier found in 1985 by Ron Blevins. I thought I might mention the scarcity of official reports and historical accounts for Ox Hill, and our hope that new letters of diaries and artifact information will someday come to light that will help us to better understand the troop movements here. I was going to thank and acknowledge the many individuals who have supported Ox Hill and contributed significantly to this park over many, many years. But this is a ribbon-cutting event, and brief remarks are the order of the day. So I'll save the battlefield discussion for another time and the thank yous for another day, except for two. Brian Pohanka of the Chantilly Battlefield Association, our historian and chief researcher, who did not live to see this day. I know you're watching, Brian. May God bless you. Huzzah! And John McEnaugh and the Bull Run Civil War Roundtable, whose steadfast support of the battle interpretation here and other contributions are gratefully acknowledged. Thank you, John. "93 years ago, in 1915, monuments to Union Generals Isaac Stevens and Philip Kearny were dedicated here in a ceremony very similar to this one. Today, I'd like to suggest that this battlefield park be dedicated in memory of the soldiers, Union and Confederate, who fought on this battlefield. Because this ground is a part of the greatest struggle in American history. This is hallowed ground. This is ground bequeathed to us by Americans who fought and sacrificed here for their principles and their beliefs. During the war between the states, sparsely populated and divided Fairfax County sent more than 600 of her sons to fight for the Confederacy, and a much smaller number to fight for the Union. On September 1st, 1862, at the close of the Second Manassas Campaign, some of those Fairfax men returned here to Ox Hill and Chantilly with the Army of Northern Virginia, as Stonewall Jackson attempted to intercept the retreating Union forces. The resulting battle that occurred here in a raging thunderstorm was the only major battle of the war fought in Fairfax County. More than 23,000 troops from 16 states were here. Perhaps 15,000 were engaged in the actual combat. In little more than 2 hours, over 1,500 men lay dead, wounded, or missing. The battle was fought across 500 acres of farm fields and woods. Today, only 5 acres remain. But this ground where we gather today is at the very heart of that battlefield. Across this ground came a part of the Union attack of General Isaac Stevens' division of the 9th Corps. The 79th New York and the 28th Massachusetts charged forward through a hail of bullets across this field. The Massachusetts troops pushed forward into the northeast end of the cornfield, right over there, against Field's Virginia Brigade and Gregg's South Carolinians. The New Yorkers struck Hayes' brigade of Louisianans in the woods directly behind you. This is the very ground where General Isaac I. Stevens, himself carrying the national colors and leading his troops, was killed with the flag of the Republic in his dying grasp. We gather here today to take part in a ribbon cutting and the opening of Ox Hill as a cultural resource park and a battlefield park. The word park can mean many things, but at this park, brave men willingly gave their lives. Never forget that. We honor them all by this ceremony here today. Let their memory and their deeds reside forever in the consciousness of our citizens. And let the rolling terrain of this battlefield be a tangible reminder of our Civil War past and a treasured link to the history and heritage of Fairfax County. I offer my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Board of Supervisors and the Park Authority for presenting the historic Ox Hill Battlefield Park to the people of Fairfax and the nation. Thank you.